A little bit more of our jank stream cultural phenomenon in the modern world series, I guess. I don't even know what to call these things, but I keep seeing stories. I like to talk about financial and everything, but I think there's a lot of societal problems that are what the real issue here is resilience and like what are we going to do to get through it and to make it and to get past all this. And there's a lot of people out there that aren't going to be able to get past or make it or whatever with a lot of different things. There's a lot of people out there that are really ill in ways that they don't even know. I mean, emotionally, to say the least. And they don't have the kind of coping skills. They don't have the kind of resilience. They don't have the things that other generations have had. Great Depression happened, right? I'm fully expecting a economic downturn, and people are going to have to get on their game. I'm noticing economics that are issues all over. And to get through things, to solve problems, to, handle it, whatever you want to call it, you gotta have like a power that you can kind of grasp from within. So this is an interesting one. It says Gen Z cannot survive without their smartphones. And I got to tell you, they really can't. So, education systems are battling with this thing, with these students that are coming up. It's in colleges too, because a lot of them just can't go without them. They're physically addicted to them. They have same kind of signs as any heroin addict, any whatever, drug, gambling, you name it. The phone literally does the same thing for them. They can't put it down. Always looking, always everything. That's why it's been interesting with this whole solar thing going on. I bet most of you that are listening, if the phones and everything were to go down, you probably would, worry about the communications aspect of it, but you wouldn't shut down. You would go, oh, okay, wait a second. All right, now I gotta put the prep plan in. I gotta go get X, Y, and Z ready. I gotta get this out of here and do that there and blah, 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 right? Well, not with these kids. Not with these kids, everything is the phone. And if you think about it, if they've been conditioned this way, who's the babysitter now? You go out to a restaurant, when you see a kid crying, what's the first thing a parent does? They give them the phone. So this thing has become, conditioned. These newer humans can't really... Uh-oh. That was weird. Oh, it's because it wants me to do the updates, of course. Gotta let the CIA check in on my my work computer here. Sorry about that. So, anyway. They want to, kids are anesthetized by these things. And now, they're needing adulting classes and stuff like that. I mean, can you imagine? If you knew someone that was like, hey, I need an adulting class. I need to learn how to be a functional adult. And this is coming from a guy that was not, for a long time, as an adult, a functional adult. It took me into my mid-30s to kind of get my gear in, button gear. And now, I'm pretty okay. Still some work needs to be done. But, I mean, these kids are just unable. So when you think about the prospect of SHTF, when you think about the prospect of collapse, problems, fit hitting the shan. I try not to cuss. What do what do you think these people are going to do? What about all the people that are on SSRIs? Think about that. Think about all the medicines. We're talking a lot now about medicines being short in supply. What are these people going to do? What are the people that are literally cannot go to their day-to-day without taking their anxiety pills, their whatever pills? What's going to happen with this? So these people are having problems. They're literally, we've gotten to the point now, folks, we are so screwed up as a society that people can't function with any kind of adversity whatsoever. Right before this, I'm looking for things to talk about. I want to have something to talk about. I thought I would just come in and opening up, just being totally open and just get rolling on some topic. But it was this nonconformist family that I almost went with, but it was just a little too controversial. All three of the people that are raising two children, these are young children. These are like 6th, 7th grade, and much younger than that. Three parents, not one, not two, three parents raising these kids, and you don't really know who's what or what. You don't know the roles. I'll just put it that way. You don't know what the roles of the people are, right? And of course, they're building this television show around them and everything. I think part of the problem, folks, is exposure. I think we are exposed to some of the most inane and insane content and behavior. And we think it's normal. We think that's a normal behavior. It's not. This family is not normal by any stretch of the imagination. I was thinking of the show MASH. You guys remember the show MASH? 70s, Korean War. Do you guys remember the character of Klinger? Okay, Klinger, the guy that wanted to get out of the war and dressed in funny ways, or at least at that time they thought it was weird to get out. 1970 show about a 1950s conflict. One of the most popular shows ever. Great show. And back then it was a humor thing. It was a comedic thing. Well, now every day, these are the kind of people that we see. And where I'm going with this is with all the problems that are going on, and there's a lot. If you have not seen the video by Steve Poplar Report, you can see he kind of midway in this video gets to where I think I was about a year and a half ago, where you kind of figure out that there is no one coming to save us. Like it's pretty much a done deal where the problems and everything are going. And from at this point, you just kind of try to figure out how you're going to go through everything and make it, whatever that may look like and whatever it may entail. And he's talking about all the different people coming over, our new neighbors. And he's talking about how places like Arizona and other states are going to allow them to decide things that will directly impact our future. And you can see him kind of running the loop in his mind. Poor guy. And he's a nice guy, you can tell. And he's running the loop in his mind that like, this is not going to be fixed. This is going in a way that is going to cause a lot of pain and suffering on many levels, most importantly, financial, which everybody will have to deal with. But there's also periphery issues. I always talk about, not always, but the collapse of the Soviet Union and the fact that if you look at the totality of that, because I think it's the only modern representation that will give us a window into where we're going in America. 10% of the population didn't make it. They died. Now, whether that was, I got to go do crazy jobs because the only way to put food on the table is to go clear, crap from people's roofs, and they fell, because they didn't know what the heck they were doing from a ladder and died. Alcoholism, poor nutrition, just basic offing yourself, that kind of stuff. Like there's multiple ways that you can do damage to yourself and not even want to, right? And that happened. It's pretty much a historically accepted number that about 1 in 10 people in the 90s, early portion, in Soviet Union after the collapse, they succumbed to something. And, you take that and you extrapolate that number to where we're going right here. Will it be 10%? Will it be 5%? Will it be 15%? There's some Americans that are very hardy people. There's some Americans that are very resilient and will handle what's to come, not with ease, but with an ability that other people would honestly be envious of. And then you think about these kids right here. Like these are the ones that are going to be living in some city. Let's do a hypothetical. It's 2029, right? And a lot of economic damage has been done, and the economy is not what it was, and there's not that many jobs out there. And these kids, now early 20 something, they're kind of in their mid to late 20s now, and all of the things they used to rely on, like their SSRIs, their drugs and stuff like that, or their therapist, their online therapist, and all that stuff just goes away. It's not there anymore. And this is what these people think is what's normal to do. They think it's normal to have a therapist. They think it's normal to have to take drugs to get through the day to day. They think it's normal to sit there and play on their phone and watch just 42-second reels of idiocy and inane whatever. It's very easy to turn on whatever, reels on Facebook, whatever, and sit there and look up and you're like, I just spent 7 minutes through 12 videos watching people, screw up on a construction site or whatever. What are these people going to do? So it's becoming more and more, I think, of a concern, because it's one thing to collapse as a society and people say, okay, now I got to get stuff done. Now I got to do stuff. Now I gotta, try to make it so my family and I can handle this, right? And think about all the people around you that are going to be adding to the chaos, to the mix. The people that just freak out and do something crazy. Yesterday I was talking about the guy Killdozer. That guy knew what he was doing, and he wanted to exact some damage. There are people that are going to be thinking on that line. And again, you shouldn't do that. You have a problem, you sit down, you think about it, you solve it, and if you can't, you move on, or you do something else, or it's pretty simple. You don't do things destructive to be the answer. But there's going to be people that are going to think that that's kind of, hey, I'm not real good with all this stuff. I'm going to go out and do something crazy. And then you take the people that are, on the drugs and are coming down from them. As a recovering alcoholic, one of the main things I don't like to take is pharmaceuticals. I take one pill, and I don't like it. And I'm doing what I have to I got to talk about it, and I got to keep going, and it's going to be a long process to get there, but it's doable if I have the wherewithal, the personal strength. And that's what it's about. It's about personal strength. It's just people nowadays just don't have it anymore. They don't have it. They don't have the ability to sit there and have everything around them crumble and go, wait a second, okay, gosh, I can't do this anymore. Let's say they real estate agent, right? And the market crashes, and they're like, I'm not getting any houses. I can't sell anything. What am I going to do? So a resilient person would think, okay, well, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to start to learn how to grow my own food. I'm going to start to learn how to do another trade, another craft. Maybe I'll get into HVAC or something, and I'll do something to get back into that and figure out where there's a deficiency and a need for people, and I'll go through the process and I'll get work on that, and I'll do long nights, and I have to keep working, and I'll bartend and I'll do this, and these are all things that historically humans would do. We're here for a reason. We're here because 50 years ago, someone in your family was like, uh-oh, that's a problem. We just lost our job. We just, we can't put food on the table right now. I'm going to have to switch things up. I'm going to have to think outside the box. I'm going to have to go and figure this out. And they figured it out 100 years ago, 150, 300 years ago. You get the point. They don't have that ability anymore. These kids just don't have it. So, I see my kids, and I'm doing everything I can to try to make them resilient. My daughter is really good at a sport, and I coach. And it's her turn, and she comes up and she says, and she's teary-eyed, and I look at her, I go, "What's going on?" And she goes, "I rolled my ankle." I said, "Okay. First of all, you should have told me this before the game when you did it," because she did it while she was warming up. And I got a little mad, I got a little mad. I did. And I didn't sit there and love on her. Ooh, no. I looked at her and I said, "You need to tell me these things. What's the problem? Are you going to be able to play?" And just looked at her because I had to make a decision. She's either going in or she's not, and we're going to put someone else in. And, she kind of froze up. And I looked at her and I said, "Okay, I'll tell you what. Why don't you go over and sit with your mother? She's on the sideline. Take the rest of the day off. We're going to get people in here that actually want to play." And I said it just like that. I was a little hardcore. And I remember wife, other people kind of looked at me not horrified, but wow, that's kind of harsh. And I wanted to look at them and go, you know what? This is the problem. Sometimes you have to have someone scream at you and say, "Shut the up and go do it." So after a few tears and because I was like, "All right, you don't want to do it, don't do it. Just go sit. Go have a day, whatever. We don't need you. Go over on the sidelines and do whatever you got to do. I'm going to put someone else in that wants to play." And she immediately got better, and she got rolled around. I remember my brother was really good at basketball. I come from a long line of basketball players, and he tore his ligaments in his ankle and was just seething in pain. And my dad, who is a tough MF as well, and he played college basketball, literally was like, "You finish the game." Now, he didn't know at the time that he had torn ligaments, but he thought my brother was being, kind of wuss. And sure enough, my brother, after, a couple of trips up and down the court, it was extremely evident that he couldn't walk. This isn't going to happen. And so, of course, we took him on the sideline, and then, we got him to the hospital, and, they figured out he tore ligaments in his ankle. And, but that's the thing. It is what it is. I was the football player, and we're in a big game, and my right knuckle got between, I was a linebacker, two helmets, the running back and the other linebacker, because I was going in to make the tackle before he got there first. And it kind of shattered my knuckle. It the two force at the same time busted it. And I remember just going, wow, that really hurt. Something's wrong. And I went out for a second, but my desire to play, because I absolutely loved it, my desire to play, I went back in and I finished the game. You know, I didn't make a lot of tackles. I was kind of more in there to disrupt, and I was trying to do, arm tackles with my left arm and not my right. But the point is that like, you have to go and you have to step up. You got to do stuff. Sometimes you're going to be in pain. Sometimes your wing is going to be busted, and you're going to have to do things. With the things that are coming up, the resilient people are going to be the ones that are going to be okay. They're going to be fine. The people that are sitting there sucking face with their phone, and anytime anything hard comes along, they kind of crumble and die, or whatever, inwardly. Like, these are the people that are going to really make everybody else's lives really tough. Now, that doesn't mean you're not compassionate. It doesn't mean that you're not, helpful. And, everybody's going to have issues. And sometimes people just need some words of encouragement. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying to be so hardcore that you're, kicking over dead bodies or whatever as you're moving on from Walking Dead style or something like that. But I'm just saying that, like, there's going to be a lot of people that are not able to handle a lot of the things that I think are coming. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. But I don't think that our finances are going to be able to handle it. I think that in the decision-making portion of the end of the year, where we're all lining up at schools and churches to do our thing, the chaos that is to come with that, because they want it to be chaos. They want us to question things. They want it to go to the legal route. I've said this many times in this channel. They're going to want lawfare to decide things. When that happens, things are going to really accelerate and start to break down. Think about it. At that point, we don't know who the main man is. Issues are starting to happen. There's states talking about doing their own thing, and the global order of other countries comes in and says, you know what, that green piece of paper you guys use, we don't know about it anymore. And then all of a sudden that gets kicked to the side, and then you're sitting there going, holy crap, everything that I own in that bank is now basically toilet paper. What's it going to look like? That's a real scenario now. That's not like a fantasy prepper kind of scenario. That's a real scenario. And it's setting up for it. And so, I'm watching, Steve today, and you can just kind of see that rotation go on in his head. And he was getting a little bit more quieter as he was going on. It was, he does good work and all that, but he's usually positive. And you could watch and you could just see him kind of like looking into the darkness. So, in the words of Dave Chappelle, darkness is spreading everyone, darkness. So, the problem that's going to be is you might be okay. You might have your stuff together. You might have good people around you and everything, but you're going to have butt heads like this that are going to literally do things that you don't even expect, and you have no clue what they're going to be like. This is going to be the chaos. This is the volatility that's going to happen. The people that aren't really, getting by and everything and decide to go walk out into traffic. I don't even know what the scenario is. I can't even pontificate on it and tell you that, but I can tell you right now, there's going to be a lot of people with what's to come, in my personal theory, version of things, what I think is going to happen, that are going to literally crumble. They're not going to know what to do. And you should be compassionate. You should not put yourself out, but you should be compassionate. You should try to encourage people. There's a couple of videos I saw. I'll get mired into YouTube. I'll do my thing and then I'll watch for a little bit and watch some of the other channels. And I'll go on with the shorts. Sometimes I'll watch shorts just to as I'm like in the restroom. Okay, for lack of a better way of putting it. And there's been a couple where these people are posting, and this is how I kind of got onto this too, and the shorts and the reels and TikTok videos and stuff, where they're like, I can't make it. I'm really crumbling right now as a human being, and I'm having problems. And there was one where this young lady had this little girl, 2 or 3 year old girl, with her, and she basically said, You chose alcohol over us. And as a recovering alcoholic, it really hit me. But also, as a person that's married to a woman who was raised by a single mother with her brother, who basically accepted bankruptcy and all kinds of crazy stuff and had a really hard time at first, left an alcoholic, and she made it. And she did it because she's tough as nails and she's resilient and a hardworking human being. And I posted that. I said, look, I said, you can do this. I said, if my wife, and on this note, happy Mother's Day to all you ladies out there, whether you're a mother or you're helping raise people. I said, if she can do it, you can do it. There's nothing out there that we can't overcome. You can't do anything. You got to find that strength in you, whatever that may be. And I pray to God that these people will find that strength. I hope all of them. And as a person that literally 18 years ago almost was crumbling, I had to find my strength. I did. I could have easily just cashed it in or kept going or whatever. But one day I looked myself in the mirror and I said, you know what, you're better than this. This is not you. Fix it. So I hope these people have that kind of resilience. I really do. And I know the people who listen, I know you guys do. I know a lot of you do. In fact, a lot of you are tougher than me. I'm not trying to come off as some super tough guy or anything like that, but I know a lot of you have gone through things that would make me question and crumble probably. That's why you need a spiritual base. I do. It's become more of a existing thing on this channel because I'm getting more into it. Tonight we didn't watch Crap Vision. We actually watched Noah, a play on a musical, actually. It was awesome. Really cool. Looked over at my daughter and I said, hey, there's the OG prepper. A lot of problems coming, folks. And there's a lot of people that are going to have a tough time getting through all this. So be good to them. Try to lead them out. Don't get dragged down into the water, though. Don't drown with them. But keep doing whatever you can to make it so you can get through it. And when tough times come, I pray that you and I have that strength to find within ourselves to get through it, because I really do think there's tough times coming. I'm not worried about random things that are going on that, like the sun thing. Could something like that happen? Yeah. But like I said last night, you don't know if that's going to happen. You don't know. And if you know what you're doing right now, you're doing the things to make it so if it does happen, should that little 0.05% chance happen, you just sit there and go, holy crap, okay, this is going on. And then you walk out to wherever you go and you start unpacking your preps and you say, okay, let's do this. All right, friends, I'm going to go do the crisis report. Those who don't know, my other channel, it's kind of what's going on in the world. It's just straight news and stuff. I don't really have an agenda with it. I hear so much BS and people trying to push and pull you one way or the other. This is just kind of straight up what's going on. So if you like what's going on in the world with war and some other things, and you just want straight, no BS, this is what to watch. I did an earlier one, so this one isn't going to be like a 45-minute, or this should be about 20 to 30 minutes. I'm about to load it up to the crisis report. But I appreciate you being here. Please hit the buttons and leave a like and all that kind of stuff. The engagement does come. If you are new here, consider subscribing. And if you do, I'd love that. Hit that bell for notifications. And, there's other links in the description if you want to check out more. But, we're going to be honest here. And we're going to talk about stuff that's concerning. And I'd say right now, it's very concerning that our youngest generation is in the state that they are. And if I may end on something, a lot of that is our fault. A lot of that is humans today's fault. We've let people lead us in a way where they have made us dysfunctional. And the only way to get out of that is to lead by example, is to take some of these young ones by the hand and say, you know what? Let me teach you the old ways. Let me show you how we did it. Let me show you what happened when we were all young. We were drinking from the hose outside and going home when the street lights were going on from our dirt bikes, or we could hear mama calling from 2 streets over because we were out all day getting dirt under our fingernails and living like humans should be living today. Not inside, indoors, but outside, getting the sun, doing the things. I was outside almost all day today. So, I bet a lot of you were too. All right, friends, God bless. We're going to turn this off. Go to the Crisis Report, youtube.com/@Crisis Report. We'll see you there. We'll get started pretty quickly. Have a great night.